Okay, let's dive into a medical case that is so incredibly rare it makes you rethink everything about emergency medicine. This is a story about a biological challenge that is, well, completely unique.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You're in an emergency, you desperately need help, but the standard life-saving care that works for 99.9% of people? For you, it's a guaranteed death sentence. For one woman, Tamra Meadows, this isn't some wild hypothetical. This line right here is pulled directly from her own personal safety protocols. It makes it crystal clear that even a routine situation for her is a life or death gamble.
So, what is it that makes her situation so incredibly perilous? Well, it all comes down to a kind of biological rarity that is just almost impossible to wrap your head around.
It's because her biology is, and this is not an exaggeration, literally one of a kind. And that means the very systems that are set up to protect all of us, they become the single greatest threat to her life.
And this is the term that just says it all. Global Sole Individual. Now, this isn't some dramatic nickname someone came up with. This is the official language from her medical liability letter, confirming that, as far as we know, there is no one else on Earth with her specific biological makeup. Her extreme risk doesn't come from just one thing. No, it's a devastating combination, a perfect storm of two completely separate biological threats that work together to make her situation so fragile.
So first, let's talk about her blood. You know, most of us know A, B, O blood types. Well, they all share a kind of universal building block, this thing called an H antigen. Tamra's blood just doesn't have it. If you think of most blood types as different keys that fit into the same basic lock, her Bombay phenotype is like a lock with no keyhole at all.
And the result of that is, well, it's absolutely catastrophic. Because her body doesn't have that H antigen, it sees any other blood, and I mean any other blood, even O negative, the universal donor, it sees it as a foreign invader and launches a massive and fatal immune attack. But the danger doesn't stop there. There's a second, equally serious threat. So imagine your circulatory system is a bunch of pipes, and your blood flows through it like water. For Tamra, because of this protein S deficiency, it's more like trying to pump honey. Her blood is super thick, it's slow, and it's dangerously prone to forming catastrophic clots.
This really puts that second threat into perspective. For you or me, sitting still in one place, it might be boring, right? For Tamra, being forced to be sedentary for too long could easily trigger a massive stroke or a pulmonary embolism. The simple act of not moving is a huge risk.
Okay, so you have these two massive threats. Transfusions are fatal, and sitting still can cause a deadly clot. Clearly, standard medical rules go right out the window. Her survival depends on a completely different set of protocols, which her documents call extreme care.
Her whole survival guide really boils down to three simple, non-negotiable rules. 1. Absolutely no standard blood. Period. 2. She has to keep moving and stay hydrated to stop those clots from forming. And 3. Her biology itself has to be treated with extraordinary care.
And that third rule, protect the asset? This is where things get really fascinating. Her biology is so rare that it's actually treated like a high-value asset, with commercial and research agreements attached to it. That means any biological sample, even something as simple as a DNA swab, has to be handled with security protocols you'd expect for like a priceless piece of art.
But let's be real for a second. How on earth do you explain all of this complex life-or-death stuff to an EMT or a police officer in the middle of a chaotic emergency?
The answer is, you don't ask. You warn them. She carries a legal document that isn't designed to politely request special care. No, it's designed to command action by making it clear that any mistake will result in severe, undeniable legal liability. It's both a medical and a legal shield.
The letter lays it all out with zero room for confusion. It connects each deadly threat directly to a specific mandatory action. There is no ambiguity. It basically says, if this happens, you must do that. End of story.
And it makes it crystal clear that your average ER doctor just isn't going to cut it. The letter legally requires any first responder to contact this very specific list of global specialists, pretty much the only people on the planet who truly get her condition.
And after all that, all the science, the legal documents, the protocols, this entire terrifyingly complicated situation is summed up with this powerful three-word command. It's the final, sobering instruction that says it all.
But you know, this story is so much more than just a wild medical case. This one-person situation really forces us to zoom out and ask some pretty tough questions about the systems that we all depend on.
And here's the real takeaway. Our medical and our legal systems, they're built for the masses. They run on standardized protocols that work great for 99.99% of people. But what happens when those systems, built for the crowd, come face to face with someone who is truly, biologically, one of a kind?
So in the end, this incredible story leaves us with a really provocative question. In a world that runs on one-size-fits-all procedures, what is our obligation to the one person who completely breaks the mold? What do our systems, and really, what do we owe the candidate of one?